Hi, everybody. It's Diana with StampingWithDi.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel for the week of June the 13th. And this is my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. And I'm so excited to use this stamp set. This is a new one that's in the main catalog. And my papa was a carpenter, an electrician. Jeff loves to do that stuff too. So this is a fun stamp set because it has all these vintage tools and things like that. I probably don't know the name of all of them, but that's all right. Jeff would be able to help me. He's driving home from work right now. I just got off the phone with him. I said, I gotta go. My live is gonna start in a few minutes. So anyway, so hopefully you had a good weekend. It's so miserably hot in Arizona. We actually went to Home Depot and bought like a portable swamp cooler-y thing that we can put on the back porch, but it's still like miserably hot. So I think we ate outside on the table and we are just like, why are we doing this? I mean, the house is beautifully air conditioned, but it was fun while it lasted. So, it is what it is. So let's see who's here. Yes, Susie, you were the first one that was here. And Anne and Lori and hey, Brenton. And hi, Carol. So I love when you say hi and let me know where you're coming from. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. My name is Diana, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. And it's just a little, I shouldn't say little because it keeps growing. Everybody's moving here. But we're out, we say, in the boonies. So we have a lot of dirt. But we do have a lot of space around us, so it's really nice. We're not like people on top of people like in some of the housing communities. So we do like having our space. All right, so let's see. I think we'll get started. Hey, Tess. Oh, I'm glad it's cooler where you are. Jeff said that it might rain on Thursday, which would be nice, and that will knock the dirt down and help cool it off for sure. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm just going to cover that so that you don't get seasick. All right. So that looks good. Pretty straight. Good. All right, so let me show you what I'm going to be using. So this is the stamp set. Vintage Tools. Isn't this fun? So it's got some really fun tools and some cute little sayings in it. And they've used these fonts before, and I really like them. They're kind of rough looking, like old-timey typewriter-ish look. So this is the stamp set that I'm going to use. And I'm also going to use the split card textures. I've used these a few times, and they're super fun. And the card I'm going to case is in the main catalog, and it's this one right here. So it's on page 86. So the first card I'm going to show you is my catalog version, and then I'll do the twist card where I change it up a little bit. Oh, yes, so hot. Hey, Anna. All right, so put that back. All right, so I need a grid sheet. All right, so let me get my pieces out for my card. I've been trying to put them in the envelope so that it makes me remember to stamp the envelope, but that doesn't always remind me. All right, so we have gray granite for our card base. And then this DSP is from the Sun Prints, and it's just the back side of that. And this is actually going to go on the card. I'm going to get my main one I'm looking at so I can make sure I'm doing it the same way. All right, so this is going to go on the card, and it's the same size. So I'm going to get my stamp apparatus, and I'm going to glue it on. And I've showed this trick before. So I'm just going to put my card, because a lot of the cards in the catalog, they do that. They put the DSP right on the front. All right, so that's going to go there. And then I'm just going to put some adhesive on the edges. And this is just going to help me line that up. All right. So I'm just going to basically use my Stamparatus as a guide so I can line my DSP up so it's the same as my cardstock. All right. Okay. So now that's all the way even. And if it lifts up a little bit, I'm just going to use a little bit of green tip glue just on the edge. Just a tiny little bit there. Just to catch that where it's lifting. And if I find that this does too, I'll just put a little bit more after. All right. Then I'm going to bring my piece of basic white over. And I also want to grab, excuse my arm, a piece of scrap. All right. So this is going to go on the inside. And we're also going to do a little embossing. All right. I need to do more embossing. Stampin' Up! Likes to do heat embossing. All right. Oh. Honolulu. Aloha. Minda. I bet the weather is nice in Hawaii. Okay. So now I'm going to be using the early espresso. And we're just going to put a bunch of the tools on. Wait, you know what I want to do first? I'm going to do this over here so it can dry a second. So this is just a piece of scrap. And I'm going to stamp that little guy. And I'm also going to stamp another one that I'll use on my twist card. That way I've stamped them all at one time and they have time to dry. All right, so let's bring this back over. So we're just going to stamp a bunch of these fun little tools. This right here, I think this is called an awl. I think that's called an awl. Or it could be a screwdriver. Maybe it's a screwdriver. But it could be both, right? All right, and then there's this thing right here. And I think this is a clamp. Some sort of clamp. This, I think, is a wrench. And then we're going to use our hammer again. Mid-80s. Oh, but yes, you'll have the humidity that we don't have here. But when it's like 115 degrees, it really doesn't matter if it's no humidity or not. All right, then these are just some fun little nails. Okay, so that's just putting those little tools on there. I also want to bring the inside of my card over while I have my ink pad open. And I'm going to stamp It's Your Day. I'm also going to use this thing. I think this is called a planer. I think that rubs the wood. And this thing right here, I really don't know what this is, but I think it scratches the wood. So we're just going to call it a scratcher. All right. So I'm going to stick my piece of DSP on the bottom of the card. And then I'll set this aside so it can dry really good. Just because I am just using the classic ink. So it's a water-based ink. So I like to give it a little bit of dry time before I mess with it too much. That's why I stamped my hammers ahead of time so they can dry. Okie dokie. Let's bring this over. All right, so I'm also going to do a little bit of embossing. So we have our Versamark. Now you can use the Versamark pad. That's what they used in the catalog, so that's what I am doing. I'm going to use my new tray, and there's a brush, and there's a tool to hold, and it's super, super fun. All right, so then I'm going to stamp my greeting, which is build in some time for yourself. Isn't that the perfect little saying? All right, so build in some time for yourself. So I'm just going to stamp that on there and pour it in here. And then you'll just pour that back in the container. All right, but just for time, I'm not going to do that right now. All right, and then my heat gun. I actually have it at my desk. All right, so hold on a second. It's kind of noisy. So we're going to heat set that. Now you can use the white craft pad as well as the Versamark to do your embossing, but they use the Versamark, so that's what I did. All right. Okie dokie. Let's bring our scissors over. All right. Now I'm just going to use my scissors to cut this out. You could use a trimmer if you want, but I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm just cutting it fairly close to the writing. And then I'm just going to fishtail it. And to fishtail it, you can use, do we have any, so we have these, you know, you can use these to give you your fishtail, or you can just use your scissors, and all you do is you cut up the center, and then from the one side and then to the other side, and that gives you your fishtail. All right. I'm also going to fishtail this because this is going to go behind this piece in a minute. So I did this. I'm going to do the same thing. So I want this fishtail on the bottom. So I'm just going to visualize that that's in the center. And then I'm cutting from this side and just meet that. And then this side and just meet that. And then that gives you that fishtail. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I always just call it a fishtail. All right, so let's get our hammer over. Now we're going to use the watercolor pencils. I'm just going to cut these apart because when I do my twist card, I'm going to make it different colors. So I just want to separate that. All right, so we're going to use the watercolor pencils, and these come from two separate packages. We have like watercolors 1, watercolors 2, and I wanted to have a little bit of a bright green and a dark green. So this is the Granny Apple, and I'm just simply coloring my hammer with the watercolor pencils. So just down the center, it's going to be, you know, kind of bright. I'm also going to put it in here. Now, I'm not going to use a blender pen or anything. I'm just coloring it just with the pencils, just like you would in school, right? All right, then I'm going to take the old olive one. Oh, a chisel. Oh, thanks, Brenton. Because it chisels at the wood. So Jeff will laugh. All right, so I'm just coloring now old olive around the edge. So now the edge of the hammer will have that old olive, which will match with the old olive that I just cut on with the scissors where I put the little fishtail on. All right, then I'm just going to cut these out. These don't have a die, but they're super easy to cut out. All right, so I'm just going to go kind of close, but I do want to have a little bit of a white border around it. So this was a fun one to figure out a twist card for. Because this card, I consider this to be like a masculine card. Because it's got, you know, your greens and your grays. And I thought, well, not all hammers and not all people that do use tools are guys. So the twist card, I made it be for a female carpenter. And it turned out super cute. So hopefully you'll stick around to watch the twist card. All right, and I like when you always say, oh, which one you like the best. All right, so there's our cute little hammer all cut out. I love all the little texture drawn on it. All right, so we'll bring this over. This is going to go on here like that. And I'm just going to use, let me close my Versamark. I'm just going to use glue dots. So I'm just going to put some glue dots down the center of the card. And then I'm just going to stick it on here like that. All right. Now let's put the inside of our card. I can feel like little pieces of embossing powder on the desk. All right. So this is going to go on the inside. But aren't these some fun tools? All right, so we have that. Now this is going to go on here, and I'm going to use dimensionals to stick this on here. So I have big dimensionals and baby ones. So I'm going to use the big ones. Oh, Cindy, I hope you like the twist one. All right. Because I actually made one, and then the one I'm actually going to do is even a twist of the twist. So, because after I finished it, I was like, oh, I should have done blah, blah, blah. So that's how I'm going to do for the video. So then I'll show you the other. So it's almost like a two twist. All right. So here is, this goes on here like that. Then we're going to take our hammer. I need my greeting. And we're going to put some dimensionals on our hammer, but I'm going to use the baby ones because the hammer is kind of skinny. Like that. I remember we had a tool set years ago, and I still kept it because it is so fun. And they were different. They had a die that actually went with them. Okay, so you've got your hammer down the center. Then we're going to put our greeting over top. So I'm just going to put, I couldn't put big ones on there. There's plenty of room. So that's just going to straddle the hammer. So I'm just putting my dimensionals on each side so that it will just basically rest on top of the hammer here. All right, so we've got build in some time for yourself. So this is a great, this would be a great Father's Day card. All right, now I'm just going to take some twine. And I'm just going to stick it up under here. And we're going to tie the twine around our hammer. And this is just the basic twine. There's like 5, I believe, different baker's twines that come in the package. And I have just separated them and put them on their own little spool. I love doing that. All right, so there's our tie. We tie, cut that off. So there is that. Super cute. Isn't that a fun card? All right, so now let me clean this up just a tad. Get some of these. I need this hammer. So there's the one. Of course, I didn't stamp the envelope like I just said I didn't. All right, but I'll stamp it before I put my stuff away. And then I always put my name on the back of the cards that I stamp. so that if somebody gets the card, it says hand stamped by me. All right, so let me clean that just a tad. All right, so this is the twist card. So again, in the envelope, hopefully I'll remember to stamp. Oop, and I hit the phone. I hit the phone. All right. Okay, so we've got, so this time, these are the colors I chose this time. So to make it a little bit more feminine, a little more brighter, I just picked the basic white thick as my card base. And then this is some of the DSP that is the Hostess DSP that's in the main catalog. And I just wanted it to have like floral. I also changed and used the floral one because this one was the square one. So I wanted it to be floral. So I picked that. And then this is petal pink. So this is going to go behind here. All right. Let's see. And I made it a little bit smaller. Like I cut my petal pink a little bit smaller. And I'm like looking for my glue. Here we go. All right. So then I can just put it on there. And then I don't have to use the Stamp-A-Majig. So I'm just putting a tiny little bit of glue on the edge. All right. And then that's going to go on there. And I also switched it. So I want this along this side instead of how it was like this on the other card. All right. So let's do the inside. So that's going to pretty much kind of stay the same. I did stamp my little things a little bit different. I've still got embossing powder everywhere. All right. So it's your day. That's staying the same. So it's your day. And then I'm just stamping these just a little bit angly and putting a few more little pieces. All right, so that's the inside. Because sometimes the card is so cute. Like that card is so cute in the catalog. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's hard to come up with something different because the card is so perfect. So that's why I thought, well, I'm just going to make it be a girl card. All right. Cut my edge. Again, so I'm still stamping with the espresso. So I just want to give it some time to dry before I touch it too much. All right, so there's the inside. I'm again going to do some heat embossing. So this time I'm going to pick the gray granite. It's just a soft color. All right, so build in some time for yourself. Let me bring this over. See if I can just scoop up some of this stuff that I already had in there. So I just scoop that onto there. Good, good, good. Then you have that brush. What do I do with the brush? So if you got any extra, just brush that off. All right. Let me heat set this up. I know it's noisy. I apologize. All right. Heat set. And I have the old, whatchamacallit, heat gun. I mean, I have the new one too, but I just always grab the old one. All right, I am unplugging my heat gun. I'm done with it. Always unplug when you are done. Even if you don't think you're done and you're like, oh, maybe I'll do more, just unplug it. All right, because you don't want to set your house on fire. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this with the scissors. Now this time, I'm going to color the hammer. So that's why I stamped it a little bit earlier. Oh, it is a good Father's Day. I love this DSP. So this one, this could maybe be for a guy too. Guys like pink. All right, so build in some time for yourself. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. Make my little fishtail. But this time I want to put some color on the hammer. So that's why I stamped it earlier, so it could have some time to dry really well, because I used the early espresso, not the memento. All right, so let me bring my hammer over. And this time I'm going to color with the Stampin' Blends. Let me close my pad up. Right. So I'm going to color with my Stampin' Blend. So I just grabbed some subtle, some pretty colors that went. I tried the petal pink and it was just too light because of all of the shadow lines and everything they have on here. It was hard to see the petal pink. So then what I ended up doing was just grabbing the light Flirty Flamingo because I wanted my hammer to be pinkish. All right, so I'm going to go with my light So Saffron because I have So Saffron on the card. So I'm just going to go light So Saffron down the center. And then I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo on the edges. And I love these two colors together. So this just gives that look of a pink hammer. And it's just like a lighter color in the center. Then I'm going to take my dark gray granite. And I just want to color in here with the dark gray. So I'm just touching lightly. And then I'll do the light gray granite on the rest, like the edges where the hammer hits. And then this part here, whatever that is. I'm sure they all have a name. All right. But I think, do they call this a ball peen hammer? All right. So isn't that cute? Doesn't that look so cute on that hammer? It makes it look so real. And the pink isn't coming up too much on the screen, but it's definitely there. All right. So now I'm going to cut this out. So to me, it just makes it, this card is just more of a girly card for those female carpenters. All right, so cut that out. So again, I'm doing that little bit of a white border around. So what do I say? Squeeze the scissors and move the paper, not the scissors. All right. Oh, your dad's toolbox, Carol? Jeff has Papa's old hammer. I'm always like, I don't ever want him to use it because I would hate for it to get broken. But I'm like thinking, okay, Papa had it for his whole life, so it probably is indestructible. But still. All right, so let's put this card together. All right, so we have the inside. We have the inside of our card. So again, it was just basic white thick for hello, Lala. All right, so the inside is just basic white regular, and this is that. If you're just joining, this is a Hostess DSP. So I did a masculine one as the card in the catalog was a masculine, but I wanted to make it to have a feminine one for my twist. All right, so I do need to bring this over because I need to stamp. I forgot, I have the stamped things on here. All right, so basically it's the same. So I'm just going to stamp a bunch of tools on this piece of basic white. But these are some, I mean, I love how this stamp set is drawn. The details are so amazing. And a lot of times I'm not a big fan when they put all the little hash marks and things on things, because then if you go to color it, it's just got so much color in there. But with this one, it's perfect just because the style that it is. All right, so I'm just going to stick, you might not see this, but I'm just going to put that there. All right, so that will dry for a second. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our fish tail. Oh, thanks, Sandy. I like the twist too. And then, like I said, I'll show you the twist and the twist. Because after I finished my twist card, I was like, I second guessed myself, and then I changed it for the live. All right. And then you'll have to tell me, do you like the twist or the twist or whatever? All right. So we've got our So Saffron. And we're going to do the same thing as we did with the other card. Just going to take some glue dots down the center and stick that right on there. And I'm just eyeballing it so it's kind of semi in the center. All right. Now this is going to go on here. Like that. So see how I made this be the opposite. So the little, these things are up on the top. Now this is going to go on here just like the other one. So sometimes it's just a mild twist. All right, so dimensionals for days. And this time I'm going to tie around the hammer just like I did before, but to make it a little more brighter, I'm using the white baker's twine, and that comes in that same package of the other twine that I used. All right, so that's going to go right there. So we've got our cute little hammer and our baby dimensionals. And then I just make sure I bring my dimensional down a little bit so that I can put that ribbon in there, that baker's twine, to tie around there. I like when I can tie baker's twine around something instead of just glue dotting, you know, a bow on the front. All right, so that's going to go there. And then we've got our little saying. And the big dimensionals, here they are. So again, straddle, one on each side. So it'll straddle that hammer like that. And then this time, like I said, I'm going to use the white. So same thing, it comes in that package. I'm trying to see if I have a package. Let me see if I do. I do. See, this is how it comes. So it comes in a package. So you've got your white. This is the one I used earlier. Black, vanilla, and I can't, it probably tells. But anyways, and I just put them on the wood bobbin because it looks so much cuter, I think. All right, so this is just going to go in here like we did before. get in there. Okay, and we're just going to tie. But I love that little color on there. Because don't you think that if you were a girl carpenter, you would have some fun colored tools? I cut enough baker's twine that I could do 6 cards. Oh my gosh. Look how crazy that was. All right. So look how much wasteful. All right. So let's see here. So there is that. So isn't that so cute? All right. So let me move this aside a little bit. So there's the inside. Let me show you. So here was the catalog version. Now, this is the one that I did first, like before the video. And I put the DSP in the back. So this was just the petal pink cardstock on the top. And then I got thinking, I'm like, well, you don't see that DSP much, even though I put dimensionals back there. So you can kind of see it peeking. And then I thought, well, maybe for the live, I'll switch it up and I'll put the DSP on the front. So I kind of have catalog version, twist, and then another twist. So actually, you know, there's a few choices. And then I could color this one in just a little bit darker on the hammer. So the hammer looks a little bit darker on that one than this one. But so anyways, I think they're cute. I love them all. And I should make a few more up. All right, so let me spin the phone so I can say, see you later, alligator. Oh, and I had a glue dot. Now there's a glue dot on my camera. So anyways, but so yeah, I think they turned out so cute. And I love that coloring the hammer with that so saffron down the center and the pink on the edge, because it just makes it really glow. Like it looks like it's glowing. So whether you use the watercolor pencils, blends, ink pads, you know, just always try to mix and match your colors, you know, just to get an effect out of it. And I think it turned out pretty good. All right, so oh, so you like the one where I switched the DSP? Yeah, because I was like thinking, I'm like, well, why didn't I do that? So but it's only paper. There's never a mistake when you stamp, only design changes. And this totally goes to prove that. All right. Well, thanks, Carol. Oh, you like the darker hammer on the second card? So, and I can easily go back and add a little bit more, you know, to it when I'm coloring. So anyways, all right. The DSP on the top. Yeah, because it just makes it look so girly. I love pink. All right, so I'm going to say see you later. Jeff will be home before we know it. And I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays, episode 130. And if there's ever anything you want me to show, whether it's Mimeograph Monday, my Teach Me Tuesdays, my die shorts, any of that, make sure you always let me know. Reach out to me because I love suggestions and ideas. And yay! So I'm glad that you like them. And I will see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Arizona time. Oh, I have to reach real far. Arizona time, same channel. So have a great night, everyone. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right? All right. Bye for now.